The episode opens with Tulsa under a heavy, uneasy silence. You can almost feel it, the city breathing like a beast waiting to wake up. Dwight Manfredi stands by his window, watching the morning light hit the skyline. But peace doesn't sit well with him anymore. Not after what happened in episode 4. The betrayal. The gunfire. And the deal that went south faster than anyone expected. He lights a cigar, exhales slow, and mutters. If they want a war, they've got one. Cut to the Bredesen crew regrouping at the warehouse. They've lost 2 men, and Tyson is missing. The tension in the room is thicker than smoke. Mitch, ever the voice of reason, tells Dwight to walk away before the city turns red again. But Dwight's eyes are fixed on the photo lying on the table. A photo of Stacy Beal. Still in the hospital. Still paying for the choices she made. Dwight whispers. They took family from me once. They won't do it again. And that's when we know, episode 5 isn't about negotiation anymore. It's about payback. It's about reclaiming power. It's about war. Meanwhile, Chickie back in New York receives word that Dwight is gathering allies. And he smiles. Not because he's afraid. But because he's ready to test how far the General of Tulsa can go before he breaks. Cue the title card, Tulsa King, this means war. The drums hit. The city wakes. And the story ignites. Dwight calls a secret meeting at Mitch's bar, no phones, no outsiders. The room fills with familiar faces, Bodie, Grace, and even Jimmy the Knife. Everyone knows something big is coming. Dwight lays it out clean. They took a swing at us. Now, we swing back. But we do it smart. Grace questions his motive. Smart or suicidal, Dwight? You're talking about going to war with a family that's got federal eyes on it. Dwight just smirks. I've been at war my whole life. This time, I choose the battlefield. Tyson's disappearance becomes the emotional backbone of this episode. Bodie tries tracing his last phone ping, it leads to a junkyard outside Tulsa. When Dwight and his crew reach there, what they find changes everything. Blood on the ground. Tyson's chain. And a message spray-painted on a wall. Go home, New York. Dwight's knuckles turn white. The camera lingers on his eyes, that look of quiet rage that Stallone delivers so perfectly. Back in New York, Chickie's father, Don Armand Trucy, makes a rare appearance. He warns his son not to underestimate Dwight. That old lion's got teeth. Don't make him show them. But Chickie's ego won't listen. He sends one of his hit squads, a trio of ruthless newcomers led by Vinnie Corvo. Straight to Tulsa. And just like that, both sides have drawn their lines. Blood is coming. As the night deepens, the story takes a darker turn. We cut to Stacy's hospital room. She wakes up after surgery, bruised, stitched, and haunted by her past decisions. Dwight visits her quietly, no words, just presence. She looks at him and says weakly, "You think you can fix this with bullets?" He replies, "Bullets aren't the fix. They're the message." Outside, Grace keeps her eyes on the news, local coverage now calling Dwight's crew a criminal militia. The media storm fuels paranoia across Tulsa. Business owners shut early, cops patrol with heavy rifles, and tension simmers in every corner. Meanwhile, Dwight's men prepare for a strike on Vinnie's safe house. It's an old meatpacking plant on the city's edge, perfect for an ambush. Before the raid, Dwight shares a quiet moment with Bodie. He says, "You ever lose something that made you human? That's how I feel right now." Bodie answers, "Then take it back, boss." Piece by piece. The scene transitions to Chickie, sitting in a dark church, confessing, not to a priest, but to himself. He talks about power, envy, and legacy. He doesn't want to live in his father's shadow anymore, he wants to burn it. Cut back to the meatpacking plant. Dwight's team moves in silence. A flashlight flickers. A shadow crosses. And suddenly, gunfire erupts. The action sequence is brutal and cinematic, Stallone in full tactical mode. Vinny escapes barely, but Dwight captures one of his men. He drags him out, bloodied, asking only one question. "Where's Tyson?" The thug smiles through broken teeth. "He ain't your soldier no more." A gunshot echoes. The screen cuts to black. The next morning, chaos reigns. Police find the bodies, and the mayor calls an emergency meeting. Feds want Dwight back in custody. But before they can act, Dwight moves first. He sends Grace to spread word through Tulsa's underground. Every dealer, every hustler, every fighter. The general's calling. Within hours, old alliances come back to life. Motorcycle clubs, oil yard workers, even ex-cops who owe Dwight favors. They all show up. Tulsa's underworld rallies behind one man. Chickie's hit squad tries to retaliate, bombing Mitch's bar. But the bar's empty, Dwight expected it. Instead, he leaves them a message written across the door. "This means war." The explosion lights up the night. Sirens wail. Helicopters circle. And Dwight, standing on a rooftop, watches it all burn. Not with pride, but with cold determination. In a quiet moment, he calls Stacy again. "You were right. I can't fix this with bullets." Then he adds, "But I can end it with one." We know he's talking about Chickie. The final battle line is set. The episode closes in perfect Tulsa King fashion, not with victory, but with a haunting calm. Dwight visits Tyson's mother to deliver the truth. He doesn't lie. He tells her Tyson's gone. But he promises justice. "Your son stood tall when others ran. I'll make sure his name doesn't fade." She nods through tears. And for the first time, we see Dwight not as a mobster, but as a broken father figure carrying everyone's sins. Meanwhile, Chickie prepares his army in New York. Vinny, stitched and bruised, warns him. "He's coming for you." Chickie smirks. "Good. Saves me the flight." Cut to Dwight's warehouse. The crew loads weapons. Grace looks at him and says, "When this ends, what then?" He replies, "When this ends, we rebuild." The final montage shows Tulsa at dusk. A city ready for battle. A man ready to burn bridges for his version of peace. Camera pans to Dwight's face. One last cigar, one last whisper. "This means war." Cut to black. End of episode 5.